What is beauty to you? Beauty is subjective to an individual's perspective and what society promotes as beauty through magazines, television, social media, etc. That is why what is considered ideal beauty today was not considered the epitome of beauty several decades ago. Being someone who does not have what is considered the body shape of our current day and age of what is beautiful, I was curious if my body type was ever been considered ideal beauty that women strive for. Using influential magazines and TV websites, I started researching how the definition of beauty has changed throughout the past 100 years or so. Today I would like to share with you 3 areas where beauty has changed over the years. 1 is body shape, 2 is makeup, and 3 is clothing. First, we'll start with body shape through the ages. In the 1920s, small was in. Boyish shape, they wanted small hips, no bust, a boyish boxy figure, more like a rectangle, so that when young ladies wore clothing, such as the flapper style, that it would hang loosely and wasn't tight or anything. Then jump forward to, say, the 1950s. In the 1950s, it completely went opposite. They wanted major curves. There was even ads in magazines that told skinny women to gain weight. There was different kinds of supplements that you could use to gain weight, or foods that they would say that they would gain weight easily. You didn't want to be skinny. You wanted a big bust, you wanted big hips. Fast forward even farther to, say, the 1980s. Again, changed very rapidly. They wanted more very tall girls, and in the 80s is when the fitness craze began. All of the aerobics that started and all the working out for women. It was no longer using corsets to cinch in your waist to look skinny. Now it was about working out. So muscles became not just acceptable but desirable on women. Jump forward another 30 years to current 2010s. In the 2010s, it's all about the booty. The big butt is in. I mean, when you look at the Kardashians or anything like that, people are now getting plastic surgery to get bigger butts, to grow that area of their body. So again, it's changed. It's not necessarily about fit, it's about who can have the biggest butt. Then we come to the makeup aspect through the ages. When you go into the 1920s of the makeup, you had the dark eyeshadow and lots of mascara. It was more for night look though. They wanted the bright lipstick and everything, but it wasn't necessarily a day look. It was for going out, all of that kind of stuff. They started wearing makeup that way because movies became more circulated, more easily readily available for the common public. And the stars wore makeup. Also because makeup became more easily available. Before this, it wasn't mass circulated, it wasn't widely available, there wasn't a corporation or a industry for makeup. And in the 1920s is when that industry began. Jump forward to the 1950s. We decreased from the dark eyeshadow, and they have more simple neutral tones, maybe small little bit of winged eyeliner, and maybe a little bit light mascara with some pinkish lipstick. And this was also influenced by the stars of the time. As we all know, the stars influence most of what we do from our day to day. From there, we'll jump forward to the 1980s. Now, this is a drastic change, as we all know. Our parents probably dressed this way, or even our older siblings or different things like that. It was very bright, vibrant, very excessive. They wanted as much as possible on their faces. So many different bright colors, bright blushes, bright lipsticks. It actually created a new industry and a higher makeup industry, because now companies and magazine models and everything that were doing makeup, they started looking for brighter pigments, which created a higher industry for eyeshadows. Then jump forward to our current time, 2010s. Now we have more of the thick eyebrows those are really in. They began trying to reverse the damage from the 2000s where they had the really thin eyebrows. So we've actually began to draw on our eyebrows or use so many different shades, and we match our tones with what we're wearing. But now makeup is very common, and most people almost always wear makeup. It is a very, very large industry, multi-million-dollar industry, and that has definitely become a huge part of just our natural everyday lives, especially for women. Lastly, we'll jump to the clothing. So in the 1920s, the clothing is known as like the flapper style. It was relaxed drop waists, feathers, beading, that was all really, really in. Very just relaxed dresses, just kind of flowy. It was more of dancing. It was kept below the knee, however, still, and was more for going out style look, but was still very, very popular and is the iconic look of the 1920s, or the roaring 20s. Jump forward another 30 years to 1950. In the 1950s, that's, again, we all kind of know that one is the poodle skirts and the sweaters and everything. It was all about the cinched waist, the structured bust, and a large, thick mid-calf, like the large, thick mid-calf layered skirts. Again, as the poodle skirts are. But at this time, they weren't necessarily using corsets as much anymore, and sweater sets became a very large hit commodity. Jump forward again to the 1980s. Again, we all know the 1980s was quite an era. Again, due to the working out, the aerobics, how that all became popular, leggings and spandex became a very popular commodity as well as leg warmers, off-the-shoulder sweaters, scrunchies. That was all very popular. Putting up in side ponies, your hair up in side ponytails with the scrunchies. Another popular clothing for, say, older adults, more professional, was power suits with the padded, thick shoulders. Those were also very large, popular pieces of clothing. Jump forward to our current day and age, the 2010s. We have skinny jeans is probably our most popular. That has become a commodity here in the 2010s. It is safe to say, even though we're only 7 to 8 years into the 2010s, that skinny jeans definitely will be something that our era is known for, as well as athleisure, which is aka like stylish sneakers, tees, hoodies, kind of more of a comfy, stylish look that we go for and we wear very commonly. So between all that, you can tell that at least every 30 years there's a drastic change in all of the way you look, the way that people dress, what is considered beauty. Like I said before, beauty changes and is subjective in the time period and to the time period and to the societal expectations that exist during that time. There are many aspects of beauty. The ones most people think about are makeup, but clothing and your body shape are also aspects that pertain to what is considered ideal beauty and what is portrayed in our magazines and our commercials and with our stars and our celebrities. Beauty can change very quickly. One year, what is considered the epitome of beauty is possibly the absolute not the next year. It is an ever-changing deal and an ever-changing situation.